Hey everyone, welcome to another ink review from the Inkwell. This week, we're taking a look at Colorverse Gravity Wave. Why this particular ink? We'll get to that later in the video, but for now, join me as we take a look at this bluish, tealish, #007D89 lovely bottle of ink. I bought this ink a few months ago, and as you can see, it really hasn't gotten the love that it deserves. But thanks to some prodding from my podcast co-host on Philosophical, I decided to break this ink out in honor of my 100 subscriber giveaway. More on that later though. Let's take a look at the pens used for this writing sample. On the left is the Nakaya Piccolo cigar in Heki Tamanori with a double broad nib. On the right is the Platinum Plaisir with a medium steel nib. Both pens were chosen for their extremes in price, writing, and, to be honest, the Plaisir made the cut because of its transparent section. Now, let's take a look at how Gravity Wave looks on 3 different papers. First is Clairefontaine Triumph. This paper does have a slight coating that seems to bring out more of the darker tones of the ink. Shading from both nibs is quite significant, but the teal undertones appear lost. You would think that the coating would increase dry time, but of the 3, this paper was the second fastest to dry. The double broad nib dried in under 30 seconds, and 20 seconds for the medium nib. The Gravity Wave ink also held up rather nicely under the water sample. Moving on to Rhodia Dot Pad, the shading is slightly more apparent. You can see more of the teal showing through, but mostly on the medium nib. It's also on the Rhodia that we start to see some of the sheen, where the coating of the Clairefontaine seemed to prevent it slightly. Rhodia definitely won out on dry time though, being completely dry on the 20-second mark for the medium nib, and the smudge lines on the Nakaya also show clear improvement. While still legible, the water resistance on the Rhodia was slightly lesser than that of Clairefontaine. Now onto the Tomoe River paper. Shading here is virtually gone. It's almost to a point that an extra fine or a dry feed would be required for the teal to truly show through. That said, the darker blues really show through with these 2 nibs on this paper. Dry time was extreme on the Tomoe, but that's to be expected. The Nakaya was still wet after 1 minute, and the medium nib took almost 25 seconds to dry. The water test was much better though, and I found Gravity Wave to be more legible on Tomoe than the other 2 papers. Colorverse Gravity Wave is extremely well behaved, and you can see across all 3 paper samples that feathering was pretty much non-existent, with all 3 being just about equal in clarity as well. To highlight the versatility of the ink, I went with the Tomoe River paper. You get a good sense of the color variation with both the pen and swab samples, but the sheen really comes through with that drip sample on the right. If this review taught me anything, it's not to let an ink sit that long without trying it. Granted, it dries far slower than any ink I could ever take with me to work, but sometimes it's worth the trade-off to have a color like this. And the great thing about Colorverse is that you can get this 65 milliliter bottle with a 15 milliliter companion bottle for only $36. So, if you want to pick up a bottle of Colorverse ink, head on over to penchalet.com, click on the podcast link, and then enter the code INKTWELL to unlock your site-wide coupon. Now for the interesting part of the review. If you want to win a set of Colorverse ink, that's the big bottle and the companion bottle, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and then head on over to my Instagram to like the companion post and comment your 3 favorite Colorverse inks. The winner will get to choose a Colorverse set of their own. That's right, Ron over at Pen Chalet is letting the winner choose their own set. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Inkwell and support the channel at patreon.com/theinkwell. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.